Okay, I want to talk about that DMZ mode today and how I feel like the whole grind and game is kind of pointless at the point. Like it's there's no reason to do your missions and whatnot. But I'll explain that. I'll come to that. So within the DMZ mode, we have faction missions, right? And once you get every faction mission tier 3 completed, then you will have a second insured weapon, right? So, and once you complete any of the tier 5 missions, then you'll have a third insured weapon. And here's why I feel like that's not worth doing at all. Not even worth doing one mission. Because if you want to have decent guns, then what I suggest is extracting other people's guns, right? Like other player guns, with full attachments on. And the way you can fill up your contraband stash to unlimited basically, right? So since I haven't bought the game, I only have 10 slots in here to put weapons in, but you see how it says I have 12 weapons out of 10. So the way I can keep stacking over what I got is, let's put on two weapons real quick. 1 second. There we go, and we'll put on this one. There we go. Right. So technically now I got 10 out of 10, right? And I shouldn't, if I go out to basically unequip this one and I press square, it asks me if I want to destroy the blueprint or the weapon because I don't have the space in the stash. Now here's a trick to how you can keep stacking it. And why I suggest for the next season, if they're gonna remove all your progress on all the faction missions you have done, which is what they're gonna do, they're gonna literally remove the insured slots you have and put everybody back to zero. So instead of having to go through the pain of unlocking that shit, because that was painful with all the bugs and all the fucking shit that's wrong with the game, and the game is not even done, it's still in a beta, right? 3 months down the line, we're still playing a beta, which is, in my opinion, completely unacceptable. If um, if every game had a 3-month beta, that would be insane, right? Like, but at least that would make enough time to where they could fix some shit. The problem with Call of Duty is they don't give a shit about fixing anything other than tiny, small things that really don't matter too much, right? So here's how it works. It works this way that instead of unequipping, what I will do is I'll use my insured slot, right? I'll press equipped. Now it swapped out that gun that I was wearing, the Chimera, and put it in here, and now it says 11 out of 10, right? But since I can't delete my insured weapon, so when I press unequip on this one, it will unequip it, even though my stash is full. Now, I can keep doing that over and over and over until I have hundreds of weapons in my stash, basically, right? So I just deleted a bunch of weapons. I was at like 20, I think it was at 25 at some point. But I had to delete them all because you're not allowed to actually switch out your missions when you have more weapons than your stash slots, right? So now I can't put that mission on, and it's like bucking out, right? I can't even put it back on now. It's just like completely fucked. It wants me to delete some of the weapons, right? Now, doing the trick I just showed you, you can keep stacking them. You won't be able to do your missions, but why would you ever want to do missions when you do the missions to get like more weapons available? Yet they take it away every season. Then why would I ever want to spend my time doing that, right? So that for that reason, that's why I chose to um, not do my missions anymore. Like I just stopped doing them and I simply just started extracting weapons instead. Because I get more out of the weapons than than I do from having the fucking short slots in the end. Yes, sure, you'll get weapons that aren't exactly how you would build them yourself, but in the end, if you have plenty of them, then what does it really matter? Because you're gonna have a massive advantage coming up against somebody who doesn't have any attachments on his weapons. yeah, so that's the trick, and that's how you get an infinite amount of contraband weapons, basically. Um, yeah, hopefully that was super helpful to some of you guys, and I do hope that you take advantage of this, because this they might fucking delete this. Who knows, right? Um, on top of that, I feel like 10 slots for weapons is a fucking joke, right? We should have had 50 slots for weapons. We should have had an inventory where you could put, like you have the keys, you should have an inventory where you can store self-revives, kill streaks, gas mask, armor, uh, all these extra things, right? There's no point in extracting anything out of the game other than weapons in the end, because there's none of the other stuff that sticks, right? Like none of the things you're wearing will stay, but everything else you had in your backpack, it magically disappears into nothingness. So yeah, I would highly suggest just keep collecting weapons. Whenever you see a good weapon, you can pick it up, test it out. If you like it, you just extract it and then you keep it. And whenever you die and you need to go in and regain, you have a full array of different guns you can choose from, right? And the fact that I only have 10 spots is so much too little that I have to do this trick, because otherwise I just never fucking have any guns laying around, right? Because you'll come into a bad streak where you might be like losing a couple of games in a row, and if you're bringing in 2 guns every time you're losing, then you'll end up with nothing left, right? But if you keep extracting guns, like I've been on that whole extracting shit, then you can basically have an infinite amount of weapons that are perfect, and all you would have to do is jump in the map, find a level 2 armor, find a little backpack, and then you're good to go, man. You're literally running like you never left. So yeah, I hopefully this helped out, and you guys take advantage while you can. Yeah, man.